got the place to himself, and then here comes Hannah, 13 years old, there comes me, and God's sakes, 19 years old, and there goes Frank, in our little 3-bedroom home. So, Ricky, I worshiped him when I was little. Having an older brother like that, is such an older brother, was incredible. And it gave him the opportunity to really torture us, because we were young, young and naive. And he really took advantage of that. And he did. He really did. He had my sister Hannah convinced that he was Peter Frampton.
True story.
True story. And he would tell her, he said, I'm Peter Frampton. And he'd show her the album. And there's a picture of it, him and her. Recently, in the last couple of years, we had taken the Hope Chest down and took out our albums. And luckily, Ricky was there, and so she said, pose with me with this album, because it's such an iconic story. So if you look at the slideshow, you'll see that. So he held up the album cover, and she said, but he has blonde hair, and you have black hair. And he's like, that's just my stage look. That's what, when I'm home, I look like this. It's like, yeah. The Miley Cyrus of the 70s. But, so that was one of them. One of his ways he would torture us. He also had Hannah convinced that her name spelled backwards, H-A-N-N-A-H, spelled what, Hannah?
Hippopotamus. And I believed him. He spelled it on a chalkboard that we had.
Yep, that was Ricky. So we thought we could get our retribution on him. We tried. We had a trick where, now, we were young. Tying a balloon is hard, in our defense. We would fill up water balloons, and we'd say, we're going to put these under Ricky's sheets. And he had his bed in the basement when he lived in the basement, so he had his whole setup there. We'd go down, we'd twist the balloons, and we'd like, put the water balloons under the blankets, and we'd leave. Later on, realizing that what he came home to was deflated balloons and a wet bed. So just, always back and forth with him. And there's also a picture, I included it, not because Ricky's in it, but because Hannah and I are jumping on his bed, and you see all his Grand Funk Railroad posters in the background. And it's hysterical to me, because he would have been so pissed. He'd be like, keep them out of my room. So he moved out, right? He moved out when he was 18. I remember that day.
Many times.
He moved out, and I remember standing in the doorway, the little bedroom, and I said, where are you going? And he's like, I'm moving out. I'm like, why are you moving out? He's like, I'm just moving out. And what did he tell you?
He said it'll be a cold day in hell when I come back again.
What happened?
We had many cold days.
It wasn't a cold day in hell.
That free was better than having to pay. At the meals, he missed the meals too much.
So he came back, and that's when he moved into the basement, because then we had Frankie the baby. There's a funny story that my mom likes to tell of Hannah being in her crib. What did Ricky do?
Oh my. Well, in the
With the
middle,
baby powder.
when he moved back in, then I put him in the same room where we had baby Hannah in the crib. She was just some months old, and we're sleeping, and I feel this and smell this. This smells like baby powder or something like. And I got up and I went in, and he's in there, and he had powdered her top to bottom, the crib to her. I go, what are you doing? I just changed her diaper. Oh my God! I said,
So
oh my.
we always try to be helpful, and that's the funny thing we were thinking about Ricky. He could never just get it exactly right.
I know.
Like he wanted to do it.
I said, Rick, you got to get up. You got to get up. What are we going to do? Do we have to call somebody because she's covered with powder? Suffocate
And
this poor kid.
tell the story of who got your car detailed.
Oh.
The who?
I had gotten the car detailed from a kid from up the street. He did a good job on a lot of cars.
Yeah.
The car looked so nice. So when he was done with it, it was clean inside and out. So Mom's cooking dinner, And, he come from the outside, I called him, I said, well, Rick, come on in and eat, it's time to eat. Comes in, I didn't know what he was doing. Comes in the house, and he made a statement that, I'll wash the car off when I'm done eating. I went, whoa, wait a minute, what did you say? He said, I'll wash the car, what do you mean wash the car off? I'm washing the car. I looked outside, the car is all soaked up. After a guy went through all of that work to detail it, took all the wax off of it, and I just put my hand on it and I went, oh my God.
And then there's just one more.
Oh wait, the story's not done. He tried to rinse off the car with the hose, but it was the winter and the hose was frozen. The water was frozen.
Final story, the story of the match.
He's over where there are houses built there now, but it was an empty lot. We used to play softball with the kids there.
Wasn't it a drive-in?
Huh?
It was the drive-in.
Drive-in theater.
No.
Well, not in the drive-in itself, but just off the side of the drive-in.
Top of Turf Lane, it used to be
And,
empty up there.
Okay.
There was a fire up there. The fire engines come up and they said they almost lost a truck in there. So I says, and everybody says, it was Rick did it. I said, yeah, right away. You're all quick to blame my son when it, just because he's got a reputation of always getting in trouble, right away you want to blame him. You know, I was upset with them and I was hollering at everybody. And we had this policeman, he was an older guy, his name was Mancini. Officer Mancini, and he was a juvenile officer. And we were talking about I forget where we were talking about it at, but he says to me, well, that's a funny thing, that fire. I said, what, but did you find out anything about it? He says, only one thing. He says, I never saw matchsticks that long. Now, I bought those matchsticks. I had to use them to light the dryer, put the matchstick over the side to light the dryer. And when he said that, I looked at Rick and he put his head down.
Yeah.
I knew he was guilty.
So, you know, in lots of stories, you can sit in those. You know, so we were saying, like, Ricky he could just get it almost right, like almost, but not for lack of trying. But the one thing he did get right is these 4 children, beautiful, beautiful children, smart, successful, you know, and we were saying, like, for many reasons, that might not have happened. You know, it's tough growing up in a divorced family, and, you know, Ricky had his problems, and you guys are incredible. It's like such a gift, you know, that you've given him, and he was so proud of all of you, like incredibly proud. And so he did get that right, and he got right loving, because he loved us. And you knew it. He was big, he was robust, he was loud, his laugh was incredible. Like, I'll never forget his laugh, just really boisterous. And so that he got right. He got right loving. He loved the babies. When we all had kids, Hannah has 3, I have 2. He loved them. And my daughter, Paige, always says, he always called me Paigey Wagey. Paigey Wagey. He would say it like that, Paigey Wagey. Always. And if you look at that slideshow out there, you'll see pictures of the babies. And Ricky just loved, and they loved him. Hannah's one daughter said, Ricky's a little scary, his voice is kind of gruff. I'm like, that's Ricky, yeah. You know, but he just loved to hug. He loved getting birthday cards. He just loved big, and everything he did was big. And sometimes it didn't go well. And he did, some people got upset with him. I mean, it happens. But he was a great guy. I'll miss him immensely. I keep thinking about losing a sibling. I mean, maybe if this was 20 years in the future, I'd be like, okay. But it's too young, you know? He's 64. I'm 51. I'm burying my brother. So it's difficult for that. And you know, you should never have to bury a child, and people do. And no matter how old you get, it's still not natural. It's not right. So we miss him. I'm sorry he's not here. He would have loved to have been here. I don't think he was ready, but it was his time. And so, love you, brother. And thank you all for coming.
I just wanted to say, what Rick was, say around 12 years old, I thought he was ready to handle tools. I used to take him with me in the summertime when school was out.
You didn't tell him that he was.
And every day we'd go into a different job. I work in a different house every day. At the time I was working for a person, his name, maybe some of you have heard of it. His name was Vic Snyder. And he was a real shyster. And but we didn't get involved in all that dirty work that he was pulling. But anyway, I would take Rick to, we'd always eat lunch. Me, I always had to have my beer at lunchtime. So we'd go stop at a bar that I knew had good food. But there was this one particular bar, they served calamari. And I love calamari, and the sauce. And they had a dumbwaiter that they bring the food down in, and put all the dirty dishes on it. And his wife was upstairs with some help. They washed the dishes and made the food. So I brought him in. It had been a while before the last time we were in there, and so I decided to bring him in there and get it some calamari. So as we walked in there, he says, and the bartender's standing right there, he says, "Dad, isn't this the bar where they got that stupid butler?" And the bartender said, "Yeah, that's me." So Rick learned to be a good plumber. Very good plumber. And he was very particular about his work. And he learned how to not only be a plumber, he learned how to be a carpenter, electrician, tile man. He could do it all. And he did it all. And then I just had to miss him very much. Thank you very much.